Well, guys, I've been all over the place today. I mean, just from the high desert to now I'm up on top of a mountain, almost to the top. Snow's got me a little blocked in here. The seasons have changed. We went from fall to starting to sneak into winter real quick. I love that. I love the snow. The problem is I can't find critters, and that's been pretty aggravating. I've seen some stuff that I could have photographed 5 minutes from my house. But the good news, the best news is I've been outside, I've been exercising, been getting some good cool air in my lungs, been able to think. And goodness, I've been 5+ miles today, up and down hills. And when I'm alone like that, I just get in my head. All kinds of stuff. I think about family. I think about, things I've done in the past, things I could have done better, what I'm doing now, what I could be doing better. You guys know how it is. We're always in our heads. And being outside, being able to sort through all of that while enjoying this beautiful world that we have, couldn't ask for anything better. I know you guys don't want to hear about my problems. You don't want to hear about the stuff I'm going through. But there is something I've been thinking about that I think relates to you guys. It relates to us as photographers, as wildlife photographers. And that is all the gear that's been released lately. Every October, this happens. For as long as I can remember, they start releasing all of this new stuff. They throw 1,000 videos at us to convince us that we need to upgrade what we have. What they're saying to us is, you think what you have is good now, wait till you see this. And there's some fantastic stuff that's been released. DJI released that new built-in gimbal video camera. Have you guys seen that? Fantastic. Of course, the drones have been released. I just bought a drone a few months ago, and now they've got a new one. Definitely not gonna, they're not gonna get me with that one. But the cameras are a different story, right? Nikon specifically, we've been waiting for them for so long to release something to catch up to the R5, to catch up to the Sony A1, and they did it. I mean, the videos are all out there. Now, not to sound like a sour grapes kind of guy, but I was very curious to see who Nikon gave that camera to. I would have loved to have seen that camera hit the hands of guys like Steve, Mathis or Steve Perry, some wildlife guys that really understand what to do with it and how to use it, and people that would have given us guys a much better understanding of what that camera can do. Griping is done. I'm finished griping, so forgive me for that. Here's what I want to talk about, and I'm here for you to help me. All I have is a call for help, and it's this. I don't know what the hell to do. I don't know if I should drop the $5,500 plus the other $600 for a couple of memory cards, another few $100 for an extra battery, plus another few $100 for the new FTZ adapter for a Z9, because you can't hold it with the vertical grip, the old FTZ adapter. Bottom line, it's a big financial decision to buy that camera. Now, let me give you a caveat. I'm at a season in life where I can do it. 10 years ago, I could not have done that. It would not even be something I could entertain. Heck, even 5 years ago. But we all go through seasons in life, right? My kids are grown, and I feel lucky that I'm in a position that I can even be considering this. But the question I have to ask myself, anytime I buy a piece of equipment right now, anytime, no matter what the equipment is will that piece of equipment help me tell a better story? I'm no longer just taking pictures. I'm no longer just setting up and going out and getting a couple of snapshots. I'm bringing you guys along now. And my goal as a storyteller is not to say, go get the best gear, you will be the best person. That's not my world, because I have not been that guy. I'm shooting with a 20-year-old lens that I just this year was able to buy, and I'm shooting with some consumer level products, the Z6s. When I'm considering buying something like the Z9, I'm thinking about you guys as well. Do you want to see just another knucklehead out there with the best gear, taking the most amazing shots? And, this technology now has made me some superhero, Or would you rather see me continue to do what I'm doing, and that is tell the story of how you can, with consumer grade equipment, make amazing, magical moments happen? So there's where I am. So I'm a storyteller now. I'm not just a photographer, and thank you to you guys for that have made that possible. YouTube is showing the videos more, and you guys are watching more, and the subscribers are growing, and that's all you guys, and I appreciate that. So I'm going to do pros and cons here, okay? First pro, that camera is freaking awesome, okay? 120 frames per second. I'm going to put that in the pro and the con category. What the hell would I do with 120 frames per second? If you're a professional football photographer or a professional baseball photographer or tennis or any sport, 120 frames per second at 11 megapixels is a dream come true, because you can get that magical moment when the ball hits the racket, or when the bat hits the ball, or when that football hits the hand of that receiver. Those moments, you need 120 frames per second to be able to get that exact moment. Can you get lucky with 20 frames per second or 30 frames per second? Yeah, absolutely. But holy cow, 120 frames per second. In bird photography, that would be pretty cool to get 120 or 240 images immediately, and I could scroll through and pick the one that I like the best. But back in the cons territory, I don't sell images. I show them to you on YouTube, and we all talk about how fun it is to go out and take those images. I feel like that is a complete wash. 120 frames per second means absolutely nothing to me. So let's dial it down. Let's talk about the 30 frames per second or the 20 frames per second. Hey, I love that. I mean, 14 frames per second right now, I notice I'm missing things in between it, especially when the focus misses a little bit and I get 5 or 6 images perfectly sharp, and then 3 or 4 of them not so sharp, and then another 5 sharp. It would be fantastic to have a camera grab a subject, hold on to it, and I just hold down the button, and for 3 seconds straight, I get every movement of that bird. That would be awesome. Once again, it's a pro and a con, right? You've got to get all this data out of your camera now, and if you're shooting, lossless, compressed, raw image, you're talking, 30 to 80 megapixel images, and you're burning through hard drives all the time. I've gotten by with 10 to 15 frames per second. I never had more than 6 frames per second until this year. So that sounds like a great thing to want and to think about having. And I'm going to tell you, I don't know what the heck I would do with that one either. So once again, the frames per second, 120, 20 frames per second. For me, it's a complete wash. It's a complete wash. I'd love to have it, and I'd also hate to have it, if that makes any sense. So let's talk about video. Since I'm telling stories and I'm out there in the wilderness, I have to look at things like this 8K because, maybe the industry's going more to that. But I never shoot past 4K 24 frames per second right now, because I want it to be, kind of a reality. I'll use slow motion every now and then. I'll use in the Z6 II, I'll use 4K 60 frames per second. Sometimes I'll do a 1080, and do it in 4 times slow motion, let the camera figure that out for me. But the bottom line is that is few and far between. Now we're talking about 8K. Is that something I definitely need? The answer is no. I'll be able to crop into 8K better. I can downsample 8K into 4K. That's all cool, but the reality of it is, that is another thing that'd be cool to have. How much would I actually use it? So here's where I find myself. There's all these amazing things that I didn't even know that were possible. Now they're there, and I'm having to ask myself, is it something that I would even use? And I honestly don't know unless I get the camera in my hands. Okay, so that's where I'm at. What do I do? What do I do? Let's talk about what I really need. What I need right now is I need a smaller kit. I need something that I can throw in my backpack, that I can walk up and down hills with, that I'm not having to... I need a mule. I need a mule sometimes to carry that big lens that I have and that big tripod. So I would love to have a smaller kit that I could go hiking with. So that 100 to 400 looks like something I definitely like to have. So there's where I am, guys. And I just want you to know that I'm trying not to be just silly with my money. There's a shiny new toy out there and I go get it. I'm really trying to ask myself, is it something that would make me better? Is it something that would help me tell you a better story? Guys, here's my story. I like going on adventures and I like to be able to capture things. Have I missed things with the Nikon Z6 II? Yeah, I have. Just like I missed things with the Nikon D850, just like I'm sure I'll probably miss some things with the Nikon Z9. What I've noticed that makes me faster and makes me better is just conveniences, being able to switch from video to camera. When you see my videos and you see stills, I'm shooting stills and I just flip a switch and I go to camera. So I'm not pulling stills out of those videos. Those are shots that I got a moment earlier, and now I'm switching to video. The Z9 will do that, but also my Z6 II does that. So I could ramble forever, guys. I could let you know every thought in my head and its craziness, but the bottom line comes down to this. And I said bottom line probably 4 times in this video. I think I said bottom line too many times. Did I? I don't know what to do. So here's me asking you to help me. Thank you. So hit that like. If this is your first time stopping by, hit the subscribe button and check out this next video that I have here that talks about why I switched from DSLR to mirrorless. Have a great one, guys.